got a wedge in your hand. It's a 56 degree. Again, there are 7 offerings of your wedges.
Right.
All even numbers, right?
Yep, all the even numbers, 48 to 60.
Okay. The 56 that's in your hand. You just mentioned the shaft, and you talked about the grip. Take us through. Show us this club.
Well, it begins, let's just start at the sole contour. This is, I've got a utility patent on this sole contour, which involves really more than anything else, the creation of multiple bounce surfaces, so that you can, instead of having one big bounce surface hanging off the bottom of the golf club, we've got several small bounce surfaces, and it allows us to lower the leading edge down much closer to the playing surface. So there are a lot of the shots that you encounter where you've got a tight lie. It's difficult to get the club, the leading edge of the club down under the ball. It's a lot easier to do with this golf club than with those. And yet the bounce is still preserved. And then you get into playing situations where you're going to hit, say, a greenside bunker explosion shot. When you roll the club face open to hit that shot, which is the way you normally execute it, you see clearly that you've got now all 3 bounce contours here on the bottom of the golf club exposed and effective then to do whatever you want to do. But when you want to play a square face shot, you've got the leading edge down, lowered right back to the playing surface where you want it to be. So you got a lot of playing versatility you didn't have otherwise with the Gene Sarazen sole contour. The other thing that does, it's pretty neat, is it takes that same mass that's down here low and forward and it positions it rearward and up behind the club face. That increases the moment of inertia in the club head, making it a lot more stable on off-center hits, a lot more forgiving, and at the same time greatly increases the ball spin rate. So we've got a couple of great things going there. The front side of the club, or the business side of the club, is all CNC milled like most golf clubs are nowadays, all right? You'll see also, though, our CNC mill marks are set up entirely different if you look closely. And our grooves are an entirely new groove. This is really a breakthrough groove in the terms of the new 2008 USGA grooves modification that took place. What we've done here are, Kraig, a lot of little grooves instead of a few big grooves like they used to be. Grooves normally are about 35 thousandths wide. These are closer to 25 thousandths wide. But they're still the maximum volumetric displacement available to redistribute debris, water, whatever, when you hit the ball at impact. So this is all done in the name of creating ball spin rates that are a lot higher, and the results we get are clearly way better. In a TrackMan launch monitor test we conducted just a few days ago, we hit balls against just those 2 that you talked about before, and we've got about a 750 RPM spin advantage over both of those guys. So there's a lot we're going to be able to give back there. That's just in the club head part of it.
Well, the club head looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's spectacular. The first thing I notice, frankly, is the shaft.
The shaft, yeah.
The shaft.
It's daring. It's white, okay?
It's not steel.
It's a composite. How about that? How crazy is that? Well, not very, actually. Ask people nowadays what they're playing in their drivers, and you're not going to find many guys playing steel in their drivers anymore. So you got to ask yourself why. Well, probably because it works better. Is it even conceivable that it could work better in a wedge? Well, actually, yeah, a lot better. And the reason being this: for wedge play, it's more important to have the flex point of the shaft up way higher than you can ever move it in steel, and to have the tip reinforced to where it's much firmer than it's ever going to be in a steel shaft. That gives you the ability to control trajectory in a way that you can't do with steel shaft. Steel shaft is always going to be characteristically weak in the tip, which leaves the club face doing a lot of this at impact. The more you can firm up this area, the more solidly and consistently the club head's delivered at impact. So all of that's key to controlling trajectory, and I worked for Ben Hogan for a while, but I never heard him say, but he's credited with saying, you can't control distance if you can't control trajectory. So that's what we're after right there. Then we partnered also, that was with Aldila. It was a collaborative effort to develop this shaft with those guys, our R&D guys, their R&D guys. We got our heads together and did that. We worked similarly with Lamkin Grip Company to create a wedges-specific grip.
Specific to the wedges?
Just for wedges, yeah. It's about an inch longer than a normal irons grip, and the right-hand section, the lower section of it, is enlarged. So you got a larger diameter, even though it continues to taper, but it's a larger diameter, so when you're hitting the more delicate shots around the green where you really ought to choke down, instead of getting down on just a little skinny piece of rubber, you're on something that's still substantial enough to where you can feel it and control it. So that's what we're after there. We've got a whole design package here now then, from the sole contour all the way up to the butt end of the grip. So it's it's what I call a systems engineered design optimization.